Ghost of Tsushima is a true masterpiece and may be pretty weird to say at the time of its release, since it had an almost impossible task to close out a console generation. A console generation that sold millions and is one of the most successful consoles out there, which is the PS4 generation. But not only did Ghost of Tsushima obliterate that challenge by closing out the generation with a bang, it also became one of the best open world games ever, and the best samurai game in a while. Pretty surprising since Sucker Punch was at the helm for this one, with them only having 2 games this generation. And to be honest, were they even that good? But Sucker Punch pushed through and rebounded with an excellent game that does almost everything right with its gorgeous setting. So let's see how Sucker Punch made an unforgettable true masterpiece in this mediocre review. The story for Ghost of Tsushima is told in the eyes of a protagonist, Jin Sakai, the last sole member of his clan and a border-skilled samurai. But when a Mongol fleet led by Khotan Khan, the grandson of the merciless Genghis Khan, invades the island of Tsushima, Jin and his uncle Lord Shima try to drive off the invaders with their army, but fail horrendously. With most of their samurai killed and Jin saved by a thief named Yuna, he must drive off the invaders by finding allies across Tsushima to help him in battle and by learning a new technique, the Way of the Ghost, to drive off the Mongol invaders off Tsushima for the freedom of Japan. Ghost of Tsushima's story is a beautiful yet emotional experience that explores what a samurai truly is and multiple themes, including honor and if honor is truly the way to defeat the greater enemy. The story's pacing is honestly really great. The story flows smoothly aside from a few flaws, and the way the storytelling is presented is just beautiful. Jin Sakai was a really good choice by the devs as the protagonist of this game, as the style and personality perfectly fits the role as the ghost. The other characters in Ghost of Tsushima are really well written, and they are fleshed out by side quests to do optionally to learn more about their past, which I'll discuss later in the video. Every character has a place in the story, and the dialogue is amazing. The only flaw I had with the story is the lack of showing how ruthless Khotun Khan is as a villain, and the last act of the game felt really rushed. But overall, the rest of the story is a cinematic masterpiece. It almost feels like an actual movie matched with its gorgeous use of its atmosphere to strike emotion into you as a player. Now let's talk about the gameplay, the main aspect of Ghost of Tsushima. And goddamn, the gameplay is fun as hell. Who knew slicing through enemies with your sword was this satisfying? And every movement the player makes is extremely smooth. The combat has 4 main stances. Each one is useful for taking out a different variety of enemies. The stances are as follows. The stone stance, basically the basic stance, and extremely effective against swordsmen. The water stance, extremely effective against shieldmen by waving your sword faster than Usain Bolt running a freaking marathon. Like seriously, what the frick, Jin? The wind stance, extremely effective against spearmen, which I warn you, they're really annoying as they spam their spearing move an absurd amount of times. And finally, the moon stance, extremely effective against brutes, or as we call them, Mongolian versions of Big Chungus. Later on, you unlock the ghost stance, which lets you actually rip through enemies like they're actual practice dummies. The combat also lets you commit standoffs, with you challenging the strongest enemy and seeing who strikes first, which is actually really unique. Under the stances, you also have a bow to strike enemies from distances, and countless ghost weapons to further help you if you're in a sticky situation. You do have a thing called Resolve, which is essentially what you heal with, and used to do any legendary attacks. You also have a grapple to latch onto tricky surfaces, and sneak up on enemies from above. Speaking of sneaking, the stealth is actually pretty good in this game. It takes everything that was good about Assassin's Creed and sets it in 1200 Japan, and it executes it more well than Ubisoft can ever match up. With the addition of ghost weapons, the stealth is an extremely fun time, and it's really not that complex for beginners. Overall, the combat is smooth, satisfying, and unique with its fun swordsplay, and its stealth is a great experience to round it up as an amazing samurai experience. The combat is simple but kinda complex in a way. You become better as you play through the game, and mastering the perfect parry is always satisfying to do, but you cannot be a samurai without its customization. The customization in this game didn't hold back, even just for a little bit. And when I say you can customize everything, you can customize everything. Your katana, armor, heck even your horse saddle. They really didn't hold back for this area of the game, and it shows. There's the usual skill tree and stuff, but what really sells it is the armor system. The armor system in the game is actually surprisingly really good. Throughout the game, you can unlock different armor sets that give you different perks depending on your armor type. If you either want a health boost or become more sneaky, there's an armor set for everyone. You can also upgrade the armor or katana to make it stronger at villages, and you can also fully customize your armor even further with the charm system. Different charms can be unlocked by completing missions, and there are two kinds of charms, whereas the main charms give you an increased boost in an area of the game that can change how you play, and the side charms that are a nice little side boost for any little upgrade on a specific area. But the customization doesn't stop there. With so many options to have your samurai look the way you want. You can change the color of armor, equip a mask, a different hat, and even change your katana's look. And if you want to dress like a complete doofus or a fearsome warrior, the customization systems are vast, as you unlock customization items through side quests or just overall exploring. Overall, the customization is amazing and completely blew my expectations away. And come on, it's just fun messing around with your samurai's look. The Duels, a tense aspect of the game that's honestly very cinematic. You and your enemy fight to the death with your sword clashing and clashing. The Duel 1 is no more. The duels are simple but really entertaining. A lot of enemies have different playstyles that you have to adjust to in order to win. Every mistake is costly, and your enemies can strike you down at any given moment. It gives you a sense of accomplishment when you win a duel in a way that I can't really describe off the top of my tongue. And the game really nails this area in Ghost of Tsushima, as it not only makes it cinematic, but makes it so goddamn fun too. Ghost of Tsushima's open world may honestly be one of the best open worlds I've ever played. First off, it's stunningly beautiful, the set pieces feel like a freaking movie, and the atmosphere is just so damn gorgeous. There are three main regions: Isahura, Toyotama, and Kamiyagata. Hopefully I didn't butcher their names, with their own distinct differences. But the things to do here are actually really a lot. First, there's side quests, which actually has really good stories, and I do recommend playing through them, especially the ones exploring the side characters. The side quests can range from saving villages to mid-busting ghost stories in the forest, and while a lot of these side quests might not seem so different from each other, they're still really fun to get through. A variation of these side quests are called mythic tales, which gives you an old folklore tale and uncover the mysteries of it to unlock a new move or even new armor. The world also introduces Mongol territory. Since the Mongols have invaded Tsushima, countless villages and locations have been held captive by the Khan's reign, and it's your job to drive them off. You can take back territories by killing every enemy in the area or stealth killing them, but either way you took back that territory and gain some rewards in the process. The game also gives you an extremely unique way for finding objectives with collectibles. Other than a waypoint, you can actually get guided by the wind to your location by swiping up on your touchpad, which is actually a genius and original idea to freshen up the open world. It removes the need for an annoying UI or mini-map to block anything in front of you, and even for collectibles, the idea is pushed more as there are golden birds. When you follow them, you can actually discover a new hot spring or a new katana skin or a new collectible. The use of the open world in this game is really mind-blowing, not relying on simple UI for just exploring. Also in the world are activities: finding shrines for charms, honoring foxens for increased charm power, hot springs to meditate, or even slicing bamboo to increase your resolve. There are also countless main villages to upgrade your stuff and buy materials for your armor or katana. The open world is honestly really great. Exploration is highly recommended because even for me, I spend way too much exploring. Like, way too much. It doesn't give you any consequences by exploring, just to find that collectible you've always wanted. And this beautiful open world just makes me stop and appreciate how beautiful it is, even if it's just for a couple of minutes. Ghost of Tsushima has really jumped into my top 5 games list because of its amazing story, its smooth combat and stealth, the duels are cinematic, and the open world is just spot on. And it was the best game to close out the PS4 generation, and Sucker Punch just knocked it out of the park, almost flawlessly. So I will give Ghost of Tsushima 9.3 out of 10. And the only reason it's not a 10 out of 10 is because the inconsistency in the story in the last act, but other than that, it was amazing. And the only reason I'm not including the Iki expansion or even the Ghost of Tsushima Legends expansion is I want to save those for another video, so stay tuned for that. But other than that, that's the end of another mediocre review.